We're no longer playing safe. We're no longer shrinking ourselves just to fit in, just to be liked. We're here to fully express ourselves. If you want to learn how to go from a people pleaser to a powerful and very strong woman, you need to learn how to master your emotional world. Your emotional regulation is your greatest power. This is how you're going to bring the power back to yourself. Your power will come from knowing exactly what you want, only accepting the best for yourself and not tolerating anything that doesn't serve you. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Alina and I help women step into their full feminine power. If you're new here, I'm so happy to finally meet you. And if you are returning to my channel, I'm so happy you decided to come back. The concept of a powerful woman seems intimidating sometimes because it has bad reputation. You think that being a bad bitch, being a powerful woman means that you have to be aggressive, that you have to be masculine, that you have to be so cold and so assertive that people are scared of you. But in fact, power is not loud. Power is not something that has to be intoxicating. Power is something that you have within, and it doesn't have to be loud to be real. One of the best things you can do for yourself as a woman is to become self-ruling. You can think about your life as a kingdom, and you are the queen who's ruling that kingdom. You're the only one who is in charge of that kingdom. You're the only one who grants access to people and situations and opportunities to enter that space. I want you to assume the role of a power, the role of a queen who rules her world, who rules her kingdom unapologetically, just because she knows what she wants, she knows what she likes, and she will never accept anything less. She will not tolerate anything else. You have to be as selective as a queen. You have to think about your kingdom as one of the most important things in your life, because it is. Your overall life experience will be highly determined by how you rule your world. And that world doesn't just include the external world, it's also internal world that you have to rule, that you have to regulate. It's all about using inner authority instead of just relying on external validation. It's all about making a decision from a place of, wow, that's really me. That's what I want. I feel so strong about this choice. I feel so strong about this person. I feel so strong about this opportunity. You have to be the one who decides that. Do not let other people decide that for you, because you are the queen of your own kingdom. And when you become self-ruling, you step into your full feminine power. You step into your power because you are now in charge of everything in your life. You're now assuming responsibility for your own choices. You now honor your body, you now honor your life, you now honor your choices, anything you do. When you become self-ruling, you start independently deciding on what is allowed into your life. What do you want? You no longer need external interference because you have all the answers within you, and you trust that deep inner knowing. You trust yourself so much that you're confidently and you are so able to make your own decision, to make up your own mind, to be independent thinker, to be independent decision maker. This is how you start creating your kingdom inside of you and externally. This is how you become a queen who is in the power. If you want to finally stop being that person that agrees with everyone, that is always up for anything at the expense of her own life, the expense of her own desires, then you have to start being in charge of your own emotional state. You can no longer be a victim. A victim mentality is a choice. If you keep choosing to blame other people, to blame the government, to blame the external situation, that you are deeply rooted in your victim mindset. And if you want to step into your full power, you need to get rid of that victim mindset, because being a victim is not going to get you anywhere. You're just going to be sitting and blaming everything. But at the end of the day, the people that actually take charge of their life, take responsibility for their choices, are the ones winning, are the ones stepping into their power. And then you're sitting there and blaming them for having that power, all because all you do is complain. You have to get rid of this victim mentality. Even if you grew up not in the best conditions, even if you grew up not in the best city or country, even if you didn't have the opportunities, it doesn't mean that you shouldn't be creating these opportunities for yourself. You have to have a faith in yourself, in your ability, in your power, that you can do amazing things, that you can do great things. You cannot be limited to this victim mentality. Being a victim is way easier than actually taking responsibility and doing things that are sometimes hard. It is way easier to stay in that mentality. But let me tell you that on the other side of that victim mentality is a field of opportunities you can take only if you start believing in yourself, Only if you start believing that you can actually be successful in whatever you set your mind to. Darling, now you're at the stage where you have to choose your own emotional state. You cannot let the people or the environment around you dictate your emotional state. You are now fully in charge of that. You have that power. I give you the power. I allow you to take the power. You have the power within you to decide what you want to feel, how you want to feel every single day. You have that power to decide how you want to spend your days. What emotions are you having every single day? It's something that you decide within yourself. It's something that you have the capacity and the power to do every single day. But because you're in this victim mentality, you're still thinking, oh, it's because of this, it's because of the situations, I'm so sad and I'm not capable. No, it's because what you keep telling yourself. You have to finally realize that at some point it really becomes your responsibility. It's no longer your childhood trauma. It's you deciding to repeat the same patterns. It's you deciding to stay in the same position. It's you deciding not to go into the fear and to stay at where you are, to not face the difficult tasks. It's your decision to stay where you are. At some point, you have to take that responsibility and actually face the truth. It's you who doesn't want the growth. It's you who doesn't want that development. Because if you really wanted that, you would face the unfamiliar. You would face the difficult parts of the task. But you're not willing to do that. So why are you still sitting here and complaining about your life, that everything is unfair? Life will always seem unfair to people who are not putting in enough effort. If you're just thinking about something but you're not doing anything, you will always think, it's so not fair that that person got something. Well, do you know how much work they've put in to get to that point? Then if you don't know the story, then you shouldn't even think about saying these things, because you don't know how much effort, how much energy, how much money and time they had to put in to get to that point. Something I wish that I realized earlier is that you should be okay with disappointing other people, because most of the time people get disappointed with you because they no longer can understand this new version of you. They can no longer uphold the level of standards that you have for yourself and for the people around you. So of course they get disappointed and they might call you different names. They might say, oh, you've changed, you're no longer so nice, you're not like you used to be. And that's the whole point of this procedure. And you should know that once the people get disappointed at you, it actually means that you're moving in the right direction. If you were always pleasing other people, if you were always kind of keeping quiet and shrinking yourself just to be liked by other people, you have to understand this one single truth. People will always get triggered and angry when you finally start valuing yourself and raising your standards. Sometimes people will see it as a personal attack. They might start thinking, wow, she didn't used to be so mean, but in reality it's just you protecting your peace. And there's nothing mean about it. There's nothing selfish about it, because you finally started putting yourself first. You finally started stepping into your power. And for some people, that would be uncomfortable. And those people should not be in your life anyway. They took advantage of you being so nice, of you being a doormat. They took advantage of that. And now all of a sudden they're angry and they're questioning, why is she so mean? It's because you were too nice earlier. So now they're tasting the actual you, the authentic you. Sometimes that taste can be a little bit bitter to them, and that's totally okay. You have to be okay with disappointing people, especially the people that cannot adhere to your standards, that cannot respect you in this new upgraded version of yourself. Some people might even go to an extent of trying to make you feel bad for enforcing these new standards for yourself. And that is actually the funniest thing. Whenever I see this happen, I'm like, okay, so why are you trying to shame me for knowing what I want and for finally having standards? You're so not happy and you want me to lower my standards that you will try to make me question my choices. That is probably one of the funniest things I've seen. People will try to do that just because it feels like a threat to them. They think that they will lose you, and they should be thinking about that because they might actually lose you. But even if they try to make you question your own choices, you have to remember that you shouldn't shrink yourself for other people. You shouldn't shrink yourself just because you want to be liked, because you have to be prepared with disappointing those people. And that's a part of this growth. That's a part of this journey into stepping into your full power. That's a part of the experience. You have to be okay with that. Over the last 3 years of working closely with women one-on-one in group settings, I've realized one thing is that women tend to want to be agreeable. Most women were conditioned that if you're agreeable, it means you will be liked. It's a safer option to be agreeable. It's way more dangerous to have an opinion, to have some sort of a different viewpoint, because that presents a threat. What if they don't like me? What if they don't accept me? If I say something that is authentic to me, but that would mean that I would lose this friend or this friend group, that means that I will lose. In reality, if you keep agreeing with everyone else, you keep shutting yourself up. Having your own opinions and views on this world is not you being difficult, is you being intelligent, is you being interested in something, is you reading, is you listening to podcasts, is you researching something, reading books. It's you having a stance on something. And there's nothing bad about it. I think it's so powerful for a woman to have her own opinions. I want you to finally step into your power and finally express your opinion and your views. Because the more you keep it to yourself, the more you start getting comfortable with being so quiet, so weak, so agreeable. This is something that you were conditioned to do. So for you to break that conditioning that is deeply rooted in your family history, in history in general, because we were taught to be agreeable, I want you to finally start expressing yourself little by little. You don't have to argue with people. You don't have to scream and yell. You don't have to have fights. But if you just say, you know what, I actually think like that, without questioning whether it's going to be liked by people or not, this is how you will start growing your confidence. This is how you will start becoming comfortable with expressing your own voice. Having your own voice is a sign of power. This is how you get into your power, by expressing what you truly believe in. Being more authentic is actually super polarizing, because you will have people that absolutely hate you and you will have people that absolutely love you. There is no in between, let me tell you that. There will not be people that are neutral about you. It's always they either love you or they either hate you. But if you keep being quiet, if you mute yourself every time you have a thought or you have an opinion, well, then you risk losing people that might absolutely love you. They might love you for your opinions. They might love you for your viewpoints. But if you keep muting yourself every time, then you're just risking not getting that opportunities that might actually change your life. Which brings me to my final point. For you to be powerful, you have to be visible. You cannot be in the shade. You have to be fully seen to be in your power. And I know it can be intimidating because, again, the conditioning taught us that being visible means that you are vulnerable, that you're exposed. But visibility can take so many shapes and forms. It doesn't have to be exposing your whole personal life to the public. It doesn't have to be those things. Visibility is allowing other people to fully see you and for you to fully express yourself into this world. So whenever you step into a restaurant, whenever you step into your work and somebody compliments you, you shouldn't deflect that compliment. Because if that person sees you as beautiful, if that person sees you as having a great style, if that person says, oh, you should model, you should be a model, you shouldn't deflect that, because they see you in that light and you should allow yourself to be seen in that way. You can use that as your weapon. You can use that to your advantage. If you own and value your presence, you will always get the best opportunities because you allow yourself to be seen by other people. This authentic visibility can be used as a professional and personal currency. Your unique presence, your energy can get you in the rooms that you never even dreamt about, just because you use it to your advantage. It's not something that you should avoid. It's something that you should own if you want to fully step into your power. Your confidence and your power will be communicated through your presence. So when you walk into a room, what do you think to yourself? Do you think that, oh my God, how am I gonna be perceived? Is my dress okay? Like, should I try to fix it? Or are you walking in owning your presence, owning that you're just entering this room confidently without any of these negative thoughts? This is gonna be the biggest difference, because when you walk into a room without thinking, am I gonna be liked here? You finally start being visible. You finally start stepping into your full power. Don't ever deflect, don't ever adjust yourself just to be liked by other people. Own your power, own your presence, and you will see how your life unfolds into this beautiful, beautiful journey. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I hope to see you again very, very soon. Follow my channel if you want to step into your most confident, most powerful era.